Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We're going to begin tonight with what President Biden is calling a move to supercharge the fight against COVID-19 abroad. After months of withering criticism that the U.S. hasn't done enough to stop the spread of the virus worldwide, tonight the president is officially laying out what he calls a no-strings-attached donation of 500 million doses of Pfizer's vaccine to many of the world's poorest countries, saying it's America's humanitarian obligation. Now, the announcement came during his first face-to-face meeting with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, an attempt to reiterate the special relationship between the U.S. and the U.K. ahead of Mr. Biden's high-stakes summit with Russia's president next week. Meantime, tonight, with Mr. Biden carrying out his diplomatic mission overseas, there is some breaking news on some domestic diplomacy back here in Washington. As we are coming on the air, a bipartisan group of senators say they've actually reached a deal on a more than $1 trillion infrastructure bill to pay for things like new roads and bridges. CBS's Nancy Cordes is traveling with the president and is going to lead off our coverage tonight in Cornwall, England. Good evening, Nancy.
Good evening, Nora. CBS News has learned that this infrastructure plan would cost about $1.2 trillion over 8 years. Now, that's quite a bit smaller than President Biden's plan, but it is the closest that Congress has come to a bipartisan deal on infrastructure so far, as he focuses on building bridges here in England.
The president walked onto the world stage today and into a warm embrace.
Everybody's absolutely thrilled to see you.
President Biden once described the UK's Boris Johnson as a physical and emotional clone of President Trump. But all that was forgotten today as the two sought to mend the bonds between their countries and reassert a powerful partnership. The First Lady driving home the point with a jacket embroidered with one word: love.
It's wonderful to listen to the Biden administration and to Joe Biden, because there's so much that they want to do together with us, from security, NATO, to climate change. And it's fantastic. It's a breath of fresh air.
After their 90-minute meeting, Mr. Biden made his first remarks about the giant new purchase of Pfizer vaccines he plans to give to nearly 100 countries.
The United States is providing these 500,000 doses with no strings attached. We're doing this to save lives, to end this pandemic. That's it, period.
Jeff Zients spearheaded the $3.5 billion purchase.
It actually happened really quickly, across a few weeks.
Zients chairs the White House COVID task force.
But in a lot of these countries, is it even possible to get a vaccine right now?
I think in some countries it's very, very difficult, if not impossible.
Vaccine diplomacy abroad, a possible breakthrough at home. 5 Republican senators and 5 Democrats announced this evening they had reached an agreement on the outlines of an infrastructure package. This investment, they said, would be fully paid for and not include tax increases.
But tonight, I'm told the White House has already warned this bipartisan group that parts of its plan violate the president's red line against raising fees on Americans making less than $400,000 a year. So this conversation, Nora, is far from over.
All right, Nancy Cordes, thank you.